Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. It is Tuesday, April 21st. My name is Morgan Colby. I got Rick Lemon right across from me, and it is draft week.
Oh, boy. Whew. Love it. Absolutely love it.
I don't know if I'm extra excited about this draft because we've been waiting for the Patriots to take the replacement, the heir apparent, for, 5 years.
I still don't think they're going to do it. I'd be surprised.
Yeah. Brady's not here, and they still don't take the heir apparent.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for that. It's also loaded at the wide receiver position, so it should be an interesting week. We will have later this week a tight end. Why did I say tight end? A draft breakdown preview for you on Thursday, right before the NFL draft begins. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. As far as this episode is concerned, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the news. We're going to do a segment called Buy or Sell. We can take a statement, and then we're going to tell you if we buy it or we sell it. Before we jump into the news, be sure to check out our website, thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter at the FFChamps, on Instagram at thefantasychampions. Like us at facebook.com/thefantasychampions. Subscribe wherever you listen, leave a review, and share this podcast with your friends. Let's get right into the news. What say you?
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's start off with the Joe Mixon preparing to hold out if he doesn't get the Bengals to agree to a long-term deal. What the frick? Running backs
just love to hold out, don't they?
It's only running backs. Like, for some reason, well, you know what it is? It's because
it's other plays, but fantasy-wise,
it's running backs. Well, wide receivers don't tend to hold out that often. Sometimes they do. But, I think it's because they have more value to a team. Then running backs just are totally replaceable.
Yeah.
So they're like, I'm not replaceable. True. I want to be. And teams are like, okay, go ahead, walk. I can draft another one this year.
Right.
And then they try to go hit almost every time, except for Zeke, almost every time a running back holds out, they don't get the money.
Yeah, you have to be a Zeke level player, and the team has to need a running back that they can lean on, a Zeke. And most teams don't. They don't need that.
So let's get to some Mike Mayock news. I don't know if he had an interview or something, but he had multiple statements. He said, we need to get a better wideout on Roto World.
Williams is smacking the air right now.
Yeah. Roto World said maybe Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb. So that's a good landing spot for the Raiders. I don't know. For fantasy football, I'm not sure it would have effects year one, but
I think it could have a little bit. The Raiders spot, though, fantasy-wise, I don't think it's great. It would be okay, but it wouldn't be great. Actually, believe it or not, I think the Jets would be a better landing spot for a wideout, like a Jerry Jeudy.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think so. And then he also said we feel really good about the quarterback position, which means they're going to probably not take a quarterback with their pick. Some people expected them to do that. I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, they have Derek Carr, and they just signed Marcus Mariota to a $20 million deal. So
good news for them. Marcus Mariota sucks.
Yeah.
Panther. Oh, this is for you. This little piece of news is for you. And I told people weeks ago, maybe even a month or two ago, that Matt Rule was going to do this. He said he wanted to avoid having Christian McCaffrey on the field for every snap.
Yeah, and I think that's smart.
No, it's very smart football-wise. For fantasy football, man, that's a slight concern.
I mean, is it
he requires work?
He's not saying he's going to split.
He requires work in order to be the RB1 in all of fantasy. He's still going to be a top 3 running back for sure, but Matt Rule likes to split snaps between running backs. He wants to get he's not afraid to say it. Like the last guy, Ron Rivera, he said, we're going to limit his work a little bit. And then everyone came up in arms and was like, why would you do that? And then he just didn't. Or he rephrased it. Matt Rule's like, no, we want to keep Christian McCaffrey off the field from time to time because he's on the field too much.
Yeah.
Smart for them, but I don't know if it is going to help Christian McCaffrey.
I don't, it's not going to help, but I don't think it's going to hurt unless it's like close to a split, like a 60-40. And I don't think it's going to be like that. Like McCaffrey was on the field like 95% of the time.
I just think he's still going to be a very, very high scoring fantasy running back. Like I said, top 3. But I think his days of 400 carries per game are a little kind of being thrown by the wayside. I mean, not per game. Wow, 400 carries per season is going by the wayside, not game.
That would be smart anyway.
That would be absurd. But yeah, so I would keep an eye on. I'm not concerned about Christian McCaffrey, but I would keep an eye on it just to make sure that things don't develop in that direction. Like drafting a running back in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round this year, if you're Carolina, would be somewhat of a concern for Christian McCaffrey. It would send the same smoke signals that, the Rams drafting Darrell Henderson in the 3rd round last year sent for Todd Gurley. Now, obviously, Gurley already had concerns with injuries, but the fact that they want to keep McCaffrey off the field who's their backup running back? My goodness, I don't even know.
I think they're gonna draft somebody probably in like the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah.
Like middle
so
of the
if they do that, I think people should just keep an eye on that and see how much work Christian McCaffrey gets and doesn't get. It's a different system too. When you were with Ron Rivera predicated that system on tossing it to the running back left and right. I don't know what Matt Rule's system looks like in terms of getting the running back involved in the passing game, but if that's not a part of it, that's a huge part of Christian McCaffrey's game that goes out the window. Now, most coaches dominate their play style and their game plans on, talented players. So Christian McCaffrey being as good as he is catching the ball through the air, they would probably utilize him just because of his talent, but it's an interesting situation to keep your eye on. I don't think Christian McCaffrey is going to be outside of the top 3, but I think there's a chance that he doesn't finish as RB1 this year.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's valid. He's finished as RB1. Did he finish as the RB1 in 2018?
No, that was Gurley, dude. Gurley.
Was it Gurley?
It's my guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
TG13.
So he was top.
Yeah.
He's top 3, right?
Yeah. Or top 4, I think.
He back-to-back years he's finished in the top 4. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if he does not finish number 1 back-to-back seasons.
Yeah.
But I think it would be smarter. He's still gonna with the amount of receptions he's gonna get, and Teddy Bridgewater does not dink and dunk, but he does find the running backs often. I think McCaffrey's still gonna get enough work where he's gonna be at least a top.
Who's the closest comp to Christian McCaffrey in the NFL?
It could be Austin Eckler.
I was actually going to say probably Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Now, where did Teddy Bridgewater play last year?
The Saints.
Who had a down year last year?
Alvin Kamara, but it wasn't due to.
I'm just going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to keep an eye on it.
Latavius Murray was used a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
You remember that one game he had like 30
fantasy points? Seahawks offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer said he's looking to expand DK Metcalf's versatility in the passing game. I think Metcalf, I don't want to talk about every point, but I do want to note that Metcalf, expanding his role in the passing game is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Second of all, I think I'm not a huge fan of DK Metcalf, never have been. I don't like the Seahawks system as a whole. Like for NFL purposes, it works, but fantasy it's always inconsistent. So I'm not sure how excited I should be about DK Metcalf, but he's a guy I think he's going to fly under the radar a little bit this year.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
Former NFL executive Michael Lombardi was told by a league source that the Buccaneers are looking to trade OJ Howard. Don't get it.
I think
why would you? Tom Brady loves the tight end position, and now's your time to decide. You know what? We're going to trade our tight end. Let's do it.
I think
this is why Brady is going to lose on the Bucs, because the management blows.
Dude, that honestly makes me think they're like the chances of Gronk coming back
going there.
Higher.
Yeah.
But I think it would have to be trade, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The Patriots would have to trade Gronk there.
Swap tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it.
A first-round pick and OJ Howard. Ralph Vacciano, I don't know who he writes for, but he's reporting that the Jets have been eyeing Henry Ruggs very closely. That's great news considering that Ruggs is like the 4th wide receiver in this class. And they have like what, the 12th pick?
There's
freaking Jets, dude.
There's talks that the Jets will probably be the first team to take a wide receiver unless like the Cardinals do it.
Oh my! If Henry Ruggs is first off the board, I'm turning off the TV.
There's a lot of people though that think like I saw that the 49ers have Henry Ruggs the number 1 guy among wide receivers too. It's the speed. It's the speed of him. Yeah. I mean, they've seen like the Tyreek Hill thing and the Hollywood Brown. Like that's what teams kind of are looking at, and especially the 49ers who witnessed it last year in the Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill burning them. Those
big wide receivers that aren't necessarily super fast are going by the wayside.
Yeah, the teams are wanting those speedy guys. So
yeah,
I mean, I really wouldn't be shocked at all if Ruggs is the first wide receiver off the board. I think it should be Jerry Jeudy, and I think CeeDee Lamb would probably be number 2, but I think Ruggs is probably 3rd, in my opinion.
So you want to know who the high-level executives expect, 12 general managers or, quote, high-level executives expect to be the second quarterback off the board? You want to know who that is? Who that second quarterback is?
Give it to me.
It's Justin Herbert, not Tua Tagovailoa.
I mean, I understand. I understand why.
It's so gross.
With the concerns.
It's so gross.
And it's just, I don't know. Herbert's been the same quarterback for 4 years in college.
Yep.
He really never improved year to year. That's a concern.
We both watched this video. I believe you sent it to me last week of this YouTube account breaking down Justin Herbert. And he has basically the perfect comp for Justin Herbert. And all the film I watched, you're sitting there thinking like, who is this guy? Like, who's this guy in the NFL? And I'm like, at first I said Jared Goff. And I was like, I don't know.
Tannehill.
I don't know if that's a fair comp. This guy said Mitch Trubisky. And it clicked immediately. It was like, yeah, that's it. That's the comp. Yeah. You got to go with it. Mitchell Trubisky is
Trubisky was the 2nd overall pick.
Yeah.
I think Herbert. Yeah, Herbert's
it's
5 or 6.
A great talent, super boring, and a guy that will probably come into the NFL and be completely inconsistent.
I mean, look, if Herbert I think that if he goes to the Chargers, it's not like a bad spot, and I think he'll do well. I think Tua is better, and I think taking Herbert would be a mistake.
On the topic of Tua Tagovailoa, a lot of NFL executives are seriously concerned about his durability.
So, yeah, I mean, if that's how you feel and that's the scouting report, then of course that changes.
They're probably going to avoid him a little bit.
Yeah, then teams are going to avoid him, and he's going to. If that's true, we're going to see. Because if Tua falls out of the top 5 or 6, like he could very well slide to.
Yeah, how far does he fall?
I don't think he would get past the teens.
And how many teams adjust?
I think at that point, if
saying like, do the Steelers say like, hey, this guy's on the board, we didn't expect him to be, we got to take Tua.
Yeah, I mean the Steelers don't have a first round pick though.
Oh, they don't?
No, they traded to Miami for Mika Fitzpatrick. So
what a stupid pick, dude. Why would they do that? Mika Fitzpatrick's a great player, but when you need a quarterback for the next 20 years, you're trading your first round pick. They don't think they need
a quarterback, I guess.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think Tua wouldn't fall further than like 15, 16 because at that point I think teams would trade up. Like I think you would see New England try to trade up. You would see like the Packers try to trade up
from 23 to like the Patriots trade up from 23 to like 15.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in there.
I don't think Tua is going to fall to the 20s.
Yeah, he probably won't. But something to keep an eye on. I think injury. No one really knows what's going on right now. Tua could go number 3. Like we don't even know. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
Bob Quinn said the team has had talks about the number 3 overall pick. So that's something to keep an eye on. Usually those high level picks don't get traded. It's funny. Draft picks are like, I hate to sound like Colin Cowherd, but draft picks are like cars. When you buy them, the second you drive off the lot, they devalue by like $10,000.
Oh yeah, no, it's true because you take your guy.
You take a guy, and then the value of the pick becomes 0. So like right now, the number 3 pick is like super valuable, but the second the Lions use it, it completely loses its worth.
Because they'll take a corner. And
yeah. Anyway, Adam Schefter reports the Jaguars have had trade discussions with many teams about Leonard Fournette. Chiefs, hello. Love to see
Buccaneers.
The Bucks. I was just about to say that the Bucks reportedly are out on Leonard Fournette.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. The Browns report they have not discussed trading Odell. I know last week we talked about Odell possibly being traded to the Vikings. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Mike Reese considers it a matter of when, not if, the Patriots draft a quarterback this week.
Interesting.
He also said the Patriots could be willing to trade Joe Thuney, their left guard, during the draft. So we'll see that situation develop. As I said in the past, the Chargers coach, Anthony Lynn, does not view Tyrod Taylor as a bridge QB. The only reason why I throw this in here, do you see any fantasy relevance for Tyrod Taylor if he's the starting quarterback for the Chargers week?
Well, actually, I think week to week he could be a stream guy because of his ability to run. So I actually do.
Okay. I was going to say the same thing. It's kind of a hot take, and people will be like, "Oh my God, Tyrod Taylor sucks," but
he runs the football like he's he's athletic.
So Josina Anderson reports the Browns are trying to acquire left tackle Trent Williams. Great move for them if they pulled it off. That would be a great idea. Trade first round picks for that guy, dude. You have it. You got your team right now. That you can win a Super Bowl with, right? You got a great offense, you got a great defense, right? And you just need an offensive line. Like, trade your first round picks. I don't give a flip.
I think that's what they want to do, but I don't think they'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah,
and they'll just draft a tackle because they have the 10th overall pick, so they can get a decent tackle there.
So let's move into our buy or sell segment. We're going to give you like 5 buy or sells. Maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 7, depending on how much time we have. We have about maybe 8.5 minutes.
Okay. So we'll do like 2 minutes.
Maybe 12. We'll see. Maybe 15 minutes. We'll see what happens. But I sound like Donald Trump right now. So we're going to give we were originally planning on doing our commish show, but we felt like that was way too boring.
No.
On draft week.
Too boring. Buy or sell is more entertaining.
We're going to do buy or sell. And we're going to give a statement, one little statement.
Sure.
And then we'll both discuss whether we buy or sell that statement and move on to the next one. Sound good?
Sure.
Let's do the very first one. Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders, our good friend in Philadelphia. He's going to be a top 5 running back in 2020. Buy or sell?
I love Miles Sanders, but I'm going to say sell. I think there's... Yeah.
Ooh.
I love Miles Sanders. I have him ranked higher than you. I have him I think 12. But the problem is with Sanders is there's just too many question marks to say he's going to be top 5.
Yeah.
And there's guys like McCaffrey, Barkley, Elliott, Kamara. I think Joe Mixon is probably better than Miles Sanders at this point. I think Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook. There's just too many guys I think that are ahead of him.
He
has the potential to do it. Yeah, he definitely has the potential to do it, especially if they use him as a workhorse in that offense.
Yeah.
But I think there's just too many guys.
Yeah.
And he's too unproven as well.
You know what? I'm going to buy it.
Okay.
I'm buying it. It hurts a little bit. A little bit less because I love Miles Sanders. I just see him as one of those guys that you can get. What round is he, like 4th, 5th? I see him as a guy that you can get in the 4th, 5th round that breaks out and ascends into that top 5. Because I think he's a great pass catcher. He's a great runner. And he also has a 1 fantasy point per opportunity, I believe, somewhere around that range, between 9 and 1. So with that high of a fantasy point per opportunity, all he really needs to get at this point is the opportunity that was given to Jordan Howard, who also happens to not be on the team anymore. So if Miles Sanders touches the ball 300 to 350 times next year, there is a really, really great shot that he can be a top 5 running back. I'm not going to rank him in the top 5 because I'm going to rank him where he's draftable. I'm not going to be super hyperbolic, but I think with Miles Sanders, the numbers are there that show that he's talented enough to ascend into that top 5.
He's a big play type player too.
Yeah, right. Huge.
The only thing else I'll say, I think there's also a good chance that the Eagles will draft a running back later in the draft.
Hurt my soul.
Yeah, not anything to like replace Miles Sanders, but just to be another guy, because I don't think they have a second running back right now. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they draft somebody in like the 4th round.
Okay. Joe Burrow will be a QB1 in 2020. Buy or sell?
I actually really wanted to buy this, but I'm going to sell. First of all, he's a rookie quarterback. That offensive line.
You don't think he can be like Kyler?
No, not quite. Although I think he'll be close, because the weapons are like, if you say buy, I'm not gonna fully disagree, because he has weapons like AJ Green, who didn't play at all last year. Tyler Boyd, John Ross, when healthy, is super underrated and is a really, really good wideout. Joe Mixon is still a really good running back. The offensive line, I think, is slightly better, but it's still not good enough. And he's a rookie, and that defense still stinks. Yeah, and he's in a really tough division with Baltimore, who has a good defense. The Browns' defense is decent, and the Steelers' defense, which was one of the more underrated defenses last year, especially after they acquired Fitzpatrick in the secondary. So he's playing tough competition. But I honestly think he could be a streaming guy week to week. I think you could stream him. Yeah, I think you make the argument about a couple of guys. I think there's only 2 guys in this. I just tried to type Tua in and I typed Joe. That's not right. Had something else. But no, there's a couple of guys in this class. Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow all have opportunity to start here in 2020. It's a question of like, because last year, man, we thought like, okay, Kyler Murray going to start. We thought, who was the number 2 guy last year? It escapes me. Kyler Murray was Dwayne Haskins. So then, actually, Daniel Jones. Was it Daniel Jones? Yeah, Daniel Jones. But there were guys that we just did not expect to come out and have success year one. Daniel Jones was a good option week to week. Kyler Murray was a good option streaming. For streaming, Daniel Jones was, but even he was like susceptible to having these random big games that you couldn't even predict. So it is tough to predict that. There's usually only one guy that you want to hold on your team at the quarterback position that's fantasy relevant. A lot of people would you say Tua has a better chance at finishing? Depends where he goes. Okay. Where he goes. Because I did want to throw this out there. A lot of people would look at Tua and be like, oh, he's athletic. He runs all over the field. He had a total of just around, I think, just under 350 rushing yards. He doesn't his run entire career. He's mobile in the pocket, but he doesn't run. Now, Joe Burrow last year had more rushing yards in one season. He has more rushing yards in every season that he started in college than Tua. And I think that, so here's my thing. Do you think it's conceivable that you could see Joe Burrow get roughly let's say 3,800 passing yards and 21 touchdowns? No, that's definitely possible. Now, if he 100%. Rushes for 5 touchdowns and 500 yards, right? Which is what he did in 12 games in college. Okay. So he had 7 touchdowns in college in 12 games or something like that. So anyway, but just add those fantasy points. That's 75 extra fantasy points. So if he gets like 225 fantasy points from passing and 75 from rushing, he's already at 300, which would automatically put him in the top 5. I mean, top 10. Sorry. And QB1's top 12, right? Yes. You know, I think you convinced me. I'm switching it to buy. I think he's going to finish in the top 12. Thank you. I'm buying Joe Burrow, QB1 in 2020. I do. I think he's going to finish. It's hard. I was like, I'm looking at this list too of who I have ranked right now, and like the 12th guys, I like Breeze, and like I think he could be just as good as Drew Brees, fantasy wise, obviously not NFL wise, but with his ability to run. And some of the guys below, I'm probably going to rank him 15. He'd be better than Brady and Tannehill. I think I think it's very possible for him to finish around 12. The expectations need to meet realities too, and that's I think for Joe Burrow, like people don't draft him in the 14th, 15th round, which is where he's going right now, and expect him to break out like Lamar Jackson, right? Yeah, like he's not going to do that. It's not going to happen for a rookie quarterback. If he does, Joe Burrow would be like top 10. because of rushing.
Yes, right.
He's not going to be
second year, third
5.
year. Joe Burrow could have a massive season, but year one, it takes a lot for rookies to adjust. And I don't like Kyler Murray was good because of his rushing, and that's it. Like he had a very tough time throwing touchdown passes last year. Very tough time.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to wait and see on the Joe Burrow thing, but I like him. I like him a lot. He could be a guy that you could hold on to for the entirety of the season. Now, there are going to be some stupid people in your league. I don't want to offend any of those stupid people in the league, but
draft Joe Burrow in the 5th round.
They're going to draft Joe Burrow and they're going to get so excited. Last year we had Kyler Murray, drafted in like the 8th round. And just people are going to get excited. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, let's go. Sorry for that beeping. That was our timer for the
was it?
For the pod. Yeah. So let's move on to the next one. We'll give you some I guess that was a little bit of draft right there. AJ Brown here's the next one. AJ Brown is going to be a massive disappointment in 2020, buy or sell.
I buy it, especially for you. Okay. I think he'll still be good. I think the problem is Ryan Tannehill. I don't believe in Ryan Tannehill. I think the Titans are running the ball a lot with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And I think they've realized that too in the playoffs. They're like, okay, our way to win is play defense and run the ball. And I've had faith in Corey Davis for all these years. And, although he had Marcus Mariota.
You got your soul ripped out.
He had Marcus Mariota, so it is different. But I think AJ Brown's a great talent.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be good. I just think the expectations for some people is just too high.
So I have high expectations for AJ Brown, and I've actually been battling this lately. At first I was like very much on the AJ Brown train. I love AJ Brown. It was his rookie year, and it took him a majority of the season to get in a flow, which happens with most rookie wide receivers. And now he's going to be the guy for the Tennessee Titans. They have their quarterback, they have their running back, like they got their system in place. The question is, does A.J. Brown get the target share that he wants? Now, I read a tweet earlier this week, and I wanted to confirm. I was like, this can't be true. This cannot be true. And
what is the tweet?
He basically said that, I was going to say Joe Burrow. He basically said that A.J. Brown last year only had 3 games where he caught over 4 passes.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Thinking about that, I do.
So I looked it up.
He had 1 game where he had 2 touchdowns, I think, on 4 catches.
6, 5, and 8 in 3 games. Every single game he had outside of that had 4 or less catches.
Yeah. He was relying on touchdowns.
That's so scary to me.
Yeah.
Like, if this guy does not get the opportunity in 2020, he will be kind of, I don't know. He's gonna let a lot of people down. He had 84 targets and caught 52 balls. If that goes up to 120, you're set. But I don't know that happens with AJ Brown. So I've been teetering. I'm gonna buy it. Because there's gonna be a lot of overhype surrounding AJ Brown this year.
Yeah. Okay, I'm surprised you bought that one.
It's tough. I gotta be smart. Juju is a top 10 wide receiver, buy or sell.
I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy this one.
You couldn't have sold this one.
No, I'm gonna buy it just because I don't think Roethlisberger has a lot left in the tank, but he is a much better option than Mason Rudolph or the Duck. And last year in week 1 against Stephon Gilmore in the 1 game that they played together, I think Juju had like 7 catches and like 10 targets, and he was clearly the number 1 guy. I think people are going to sleep on Juju, and a healthy season under his belt. And with the Steelers realizing, oh, wait, we need to use him in the slot, not the outside. Yeah. I think that's big things for Juju coming for this year. As long as he stays healthy, I think he's top 10 guy. Yeah. I'm going to top 5, though. I'm going to buy it. I think he has kind of a ceiling.
I'm going to buy it, too. You probably expected that. Last year, I said Juju is a top 5 wide receiver. I still have the same sentiment. I think he's that talented, and I think the Steelers. I think the Steelers obviously last year sucked because they didn't have their quarterback. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they lost their quarterback for a whole season, and it showed. And I wanted to believe even after the quarterback got hurt that they were
still almost made the playoffs.
They still almost made the playoffs. But I was really believing that we were going to get a situation where Juju was going to end up being a top 5, wide receiver anyway, just because of talent. And it just never came to fruition. He only got like 5 targets a game or so. And it was just really, really tough. Did I lose you for a second?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, that's all right. So anyway, yeah, I believe Juju can be a top 5 wide receiver, or he will be a top 10 receiver for that. I'm pretty sure, but
yeah,
I think he can be a top 5 wide receiver. I think target share is the biggest thing. And I think that when you look at Ben Roethlisberger and Juju's the guy. Like, it's not. What do you think the chances are that Deontay Johnson becomes the new Antonio?
0.
Okay,
so yeah, 0.
I think that Juju is going to be the guy that gets 160 targets from Ben Roethlisberger in this offense. You know what I mean? And if that happens, it makes Juju a top 5 wide receiver. I just think the talent is there. All he needs is the target share, and the target share will be there from Big Ben to make him a top 5 guy. And I think this is the year to buy in, right? Because this is the time where you're going to be able to jump in and make some really great draft selections at wide receiver. You know what I mean? The position is really, it's as deep as it's ever been. And I think you can sneak this pick in there and end up with a top 5 guy.
I mean, I could see it. The only thing is, I don't know how many times a 40-year-old Ben Roethlisberger is going to throw the football, or 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay. Do you want to do one more?
Sure, we can do. I think we can do one more.
Let's do it. So let's talk about the 2 wide receivers at the top of this class. CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, right?
Yeah.
Will one of them finish as a wide receiver 1 in 2020, buy or sell?
This is so tough for me. I want to buy it.
You get to draft time. You get into the hype. You get excited. What is the reality of these guys in 2020 for fantasy? I'm gonna sell it though. I think they have the ability to. Like, you look at, it's rare for a wide receiver to finish as a wide receiver 1 in the rookie season, but it has happened. Was Odell a rookie when he finished? I don't think so.
No, I know Julio was.
Yeah.
Julio had a great rookie season, and he was a top 10 pick. I think he was like 6th. Odell, I don't know if it was his rookie or his second year. If it was, but he was a top, like, I think he was 13th overall.
Yeah.
Like, wide receivers in the top 10 to 13 range, top 10, 15 range, can have a rookie season where they finish in the top, like, 12.
Right.
You have to be a really good receiver, and you have to go in a good landing spot.
Right.
I think both guys, CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, my guy's Jerry Jeudy, but I think CeeDee Lamb's very good as well.
Yeah.
Both those guys have the ability, I think, that if they go to the right spot, could finish as a wide receiver 1 in their rookie season.
Right.
But I don't think the landing spots are quite there. Like, I think the Jets are going to try to go tackle, and if they do get a receiver, that would be the closest option. I still don't think they're going to finish in the top, like, 12.
Yeah.
Because for that to happen, I think Sam Darnold would have to have and I love Sam Darnold, but I don't think he's going to have, like, a fantastic, really, like, 30-plus touchdown season. And then the Raiders, same thing. Derek Carr, I don't think, is the type of quarterback to help a rookie wide receiver finish as the number 1 guy. So I think both guys will be very good and are very good and will be very good, but I don't see them finishing as a wide receiver 1 rookie season.
Going with common logic, you would say sell, and that's what I'll do. I'll sell it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You thought I was going buy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sell it, and I think it's only because you have to. Like, I really think that I haven't watched a lot of film on CeeDee Lamb yet, but I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be absolutely ridiculous in the NFL. And I think, like you said, it all depends on landing spot. If we're taking landing spot completely out of it, if these guys are as talented as they are, and the teams that they're going to land on, like the rumored teams, the Jets and the Raiders, right? They're both looking for wide receivers at this point, right? Yep. There's been rumors floating around that the Redskins are looking at receivers as well. So it's like, if some of these teams, they don't have great offenses. The Jets, we've been waiting for them to draft a freaking wide receiver forever, right? But and then the Raiders on the other side of it is both those offenses just aren't exciting. They're not like, oh my God, I want to go out and buy a player from them. But I think the Raiders have a slightly better offense. So whichever one of these guys lands with the Raiders, I think they have a shot at finishing in the top 12, but it is highly unlikely. Last year, you had the number one wide receiver off the board ended up as, I think he was like the wide receiver 23, or no, the wide receiver was it Metcalf?
No, Metcalf was the second round pick. I think it might have been Harry.
Oh yeah, N'Keal Harry was nowhere. And then you had like
Hollywood Brown, though, I think actually might have been the first guy. And he was like late 20s, but he wasn't in the top 10 or 12 either. Nowhere close.
Yeah, nowhere close. Wide receivers, just rookie wide receivers and rookie tight ends and rookie quarterbacks for that matter, don't generally finish their first fantasy season in the top 12. They usually finish outside of that. And sometimes the talent is just so big that, you can make an exception. Or the playing style is just relatively different. Like Joe Burrow likes to run it. Kyler Murray liked to run it. So you kind of put that in a box and say, okay, this guy could actually do that. But I think for CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, it's going to be a 2-year wait for them to absolutely explode in the fantasy scene. But as of right now, I don't think they can finish as wide receiver ones. Yeah.
And one more problem too is like the wide receiver position is there's just so much depth in the NFL. And fantasy wise there, like Mike Evans right now, I had him ranked like in 10 and Juju's 11.
Yeah.
And Odell's like 13. Like there's a lot of guys in that range.
A lot of depth.
And Cooper Kupp too. Like there's so many guys like that they would have to surpass to be a top 12 fantasy wide receiver.
Right.
I just don't see it.
Right. And I don't see the offense as being that good either.
No.
So that'll do it for our buy or sell segment in episode right before the draft. Don't forget to check out our website at thefantasychampions.com and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And we'll talk to you on Thursday with our draft preview show. See you later, guys.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and follow us on Twitter at TheFFChamps.